2 of Atal FTP Waste Technology organized by Chemical Engineering Department, Government Engineering College, Bharuch. We have with us Dr. Nitin Padiyar sir as a speaker for today's session. And the topic of presentation is relevance of meditation in contemporary academic and research. Dr. Nitin Padiyar sir is an assistant professor at IIT Gandhinagar since 2009. After graduating from chemical engineering at LD College of Engineering, he completed his masters from IIT Kharagpur and PhD from IIT Bombay. He has 17 years of research experience in corporate and academic environment. Professor Padiyar's research work focuses on multi-objective optimization and model predictive control using multi-objective optimization. Dr. Padiyar has obtained Ambuja Young Scientist Award in 2004 among 5 other awardees in India. He also received a prestigious Indo-US Research Fellowship Award for the year 2010 by Indo-US Science and Technology Forum for conducting advanced research at Carnegie Mellon University, Pittsburgh, USA for 1 year. He has several peer-reviewed international journal and conferences publication to his name. Further, he has conducted several workshops on computational technique using MATLAB for industry and academic at IIT Gandhinagar. Professor Padiyar is a faculty for conducting meditation and breathing techniques from Art of Living organization founded by Sri Ravi Shankar for past 6 years. He has represented IIT Gandhinagar for his research work as well as Art of Living for meditation in several countries including USA, Brazil and France. Chemical Engineering Department, Government Engineering College, Bharuch welcomes you, sir. Now I request Dr. Nitin Padiyar sir to take the charge of the session. Sir, your mic is muted.
Am I now audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So thanks for the warm welcome and introduction, Rohit and Naresh.
Thank you, sir.
Uh, yeah. So the topic that we thought not today is on the relevance of meditation in contemporary education system. That is what I just thought that it is so very much important right now. Okay. So soon we'll see how it is important and how it can be useful in academics, that is both teaching and research. Okay. So this talk, no. Before I start, can I know Naresh and Rohit that um, all the candidates are from chemical engineering or different disciplines?
From various disciplines, sir.
Okay, okay. And most of the participants are faculties?
Yes, sir. Majority are faculty
Okay,
members
okay.
across the
And
India.
okay. And I can't see how many numbers are there in my mobile phone. How many participants are there currently? Approximately.
60 participants around.
Six. Okay. 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 So, I let this talk be a little bit informal, not completely formal as well as not completely informal, right? Kind of semi-formal. Yeah. So feel free to ask me anything in between. Feel free to interrupt me. Feel free to comment anything, and we'll see if there is a need. I can also address the question at the end. Okay. Uh, so the topic that we thought no is the relevance of meditation in contemporary academics. Okay. So let us ask with a very simple and fundamental question. Because until the question, until the issue, until the problem is clear, uh, solution doesn't work. No. So let me ask this question: that what are the qualities of a good teacher and a good researcher? What are different qualities of a good teacher and of a good researcher? What do you think are the qualities? And actually, I'm looking for the answer from you. There is nothing right or
Uh,
wrong. Based on your
Yes.
experience, what do you think are the qualities? Yeah.
Hard
Yeah.
work is required, sir.
Hard work. Yes. What else? Very good.
Sir, complex things can be explained in a very simple ways.
Simplifying the things, right? Very good.
Yes, sir.
Then
Command over
Well,
the subject.
command over the subject.
Command.
Knowledge of the subject. Yes.
Yes.
What else? Very good.
As far as the research is concerned, curiosity will be there always.
Curious. Yeah. Curiosity. Very good. So, there is a fuel for doing some research, some novel thing, right? Curiosity. Yes. What else?
Sir,
What
as
all
far
things
as
come to your mind? Yeah.
as far as the
Mangesh?
research concerned, to know the need of the society also.
Understanding the need, the genuine need of the society. Yes. What else?
Sir, the need of key observation and creativity in what we're doing.
Yeah. Being creative and very good observer.
Keen
Right?
observation, good observation is required.
Keen observer. Yeah. Keen observer, good observer
Yes.
of what is happening around us, right?
Yes.
Very good.
Thank
What else?
For a researcher, patience is required, sir.
For a research, what is it?
For a researcher as well as a teacher, patience.
Patience.
They are not. Yes, sir.
Very good. Patience is very essential for doing research or teaching. I agree.
As
Totally
well as
agree.
a teaching.
What else?
So learning attitude will be there always.
Yeah. Learning attitude. Right? All the time on learning mode.
Yes.
Except when we are teaching. But even while teaching also we can learn. Yeah. But I agree. Learning attitude. What else? Is there anything anyone wants to add? Okay. So the qualities that are required for a good researcher and a good teacher is hardworking, patience, keen observer, all the time learning, and what else? Yeah, and many things which we have just figured out, right? Very good. We can add more things as well. Yeah, you can get those more qualities now or eventually, but these are very essential qualities of good researcher, good teacher. Now let's come on the other side. What are the obstacles in being a good teacher and a good researcher? What are the obstacles in attaining these positive qualities? No? What are the obstacles? What are the problems? Yes.
Maybe, sir, ego problem.
Maybe ego, yes, correct. Only limited identity, right? That is ego. That isn't it? Yeah. What else? What comes to your mind? That you can tell from your own experience that when you are teacher and when you're teaching and somebody gives very good comments, what qualities they are attributing and what are the problems we are facing to maintain those qualities. No, those are the obstacles, right? And likewise for the researcher, what hampers our good teaching and research activities? One is ego, correct? What else could be? Yeah, I want to hear few more answers. Maybe let me give you some scenarios. No, suppose suppose you go to the office, go to the college, and after some time, after a few hours, you get extremely exhausted, right? Very tired, very low energy. And then somebody comes up with a very good idea. Okay, maybe your student or your colleague, which may help you either in teaching or research. And since you are very tired, you are very exhausted, you think that not today, tomorrow. Yeah, and tomorrow may not come. I mean, that idea may not be realized the next day, right? So then, what is it that hampered um, the teaching and research activity? What does it represent? What is the obstacle here? What is the problem we faced? What do you think? Yeah, I want to hear. I want to hear. Anything that comes to your mind, you can just share. Because I remember that once. Yeah, anybody is saying? Rohit, you were saying something? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sir, sometimes we don't have a clear picture in our mind at what we are going to do, or whether to do research or in teaching. Sometimes it may happen.
Yeah, so clarity that what we are going to do, right? So, correct. So there is one more thing, right? Clarity. So that is an obstacle in becoming a good researcher and a good teacher. Yes. What else? What else could be added to this list?
The time management, improper
Time
time
management.
management.
Yes, time management. Correct. Yeah, time management and ego. And the third thing Rohit said, what is it? I just missed it out.
Sir, clarity.
Clarity. Yes, clarity in the mind. Yes. What else?
Confidence, sir.
Confidence. Yes, confidence. Right? So you can recall that what all things that come in between when you want to do good research and good teaching, no? So these are four things, of course. Can we add more things? Have we experienced more things? See, the moment these things start becoming clearer, no? Automatically, half the problem done, half the problem solved. That is why. So I was referring to one. So there is a researcher called Polio, and he said that identifying the problem, defining the problem, is basically half the problem solved. Yeah. So we are figuring out that what are the problems that we face for becoming a good teacher and a good researcher. Yeah. Do you want to add few more things? Time
So
management, ego, clarity,
perseverance.
perseverance, lack of perseverance. Yes, that is one of the problems, right?
Sir, fear of failing.
Say it again.
Fear of fail.
Fear of failure. Yeah. Very good. Fear of failing. Correct. Fear of failure. This is an obstacle, right? We want to start something, we want to start a new area, or we want to solve a problem, but whether it will work or not, I'm not sure. I want to teach this way or that way. If I have been already teaching nicely, but now I want to try something new, but I'm not sure whether it will work or not. A little bit of fear, either in teaching and research, right? Yes. Anything else?
Support from nearby people, sir, can be.
Yeah. Getting support from the coordinator,
Our
the
colleagues or
colleagues and
whatever
others.
people around us.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So these are all the obstacles we face, right? That is lack of perseverance, lack of clarity, lack of time management skills, and lack of confidence.
હું એ જ કહું છું ગામડે બેઠો એવું લાગે
ના કોક હોટલ બોટલ
કે આપણે રિસોર્ટમાં ગયો લાગે ફરવા
હોટલમાં બેઠો
એ ડોક્ટર થયેલા બધા શુક્ર શનિ ફરવા જાય.
Yeah, I guess Dr. Vimal Gandhi has a special comment for us. That's okay. Yeah. Yeah, I am in a resort. So, yeah. So now we have figured out a lot of problems that we are facing, right, in being a good researcher and good teacher, right? So now, and we can definitely we can add more and more items to this, right? Whatever. See, there is why the today's talk, no, we are not referring to any book. We are rather referring to our experiences, because experiences are more authentic than the books, right? Books can show the experiences of others, but our experience determines the strengths and weaknesses of being a good teacher and researcher, right? So that is why I'm relying more onto experiences rather than the ready-made book answers. Okay, so we have figured out number of qualities of a good researcher and a good teacher. We have also figured out number of obstacles that we face in becoming a good researcher and good teacher, right? Now, you know what? You can add more things to this list, like stress and tension and fear and so many other things, right? Frustration and feeling low and so many other things in this list. Now, typically in this modern teaching and research academia, we typically address one comment or one point at a time. That is to say that suppose if we are suppose there is lack of clarity, then only we work on the clarity of the mind for defining a clear objective of the problem, being it teaching or in research, right? Likewise, we address one quality at a time. This is not an integral approach. Yeah, we may do good in one quality, but then we may compromise in other qualities. Yeah, let me elaborate that. So you know what, all these negative qualities that we just discussed, lack of clarity, stress, tension, fear, and so many other things which become obstacle to our good teaching and research, actually they can be combined into one category. Okay, and I will tell you the name of that category, and then we'll also get some solution to that, right? But before I come to this category, that how can we combine all these items in the list into one category, before I come to that, let me tell you something a little bit more relevant and subtle thing. Okay, suppose somebody insults you. How do you feel? In front of many people, somebody insults you, maybe a colleague and a boss or HOD, principal. How do you feel?
But obvious, sir, very bad.
Very bad, right? Very obvious, very bad. Now, the same person, when he praises you in front of so many people for the right reason, how do you feel?
Opposite, exactly opposite too.
Exactly opposite. We feel very good, right? Now, imagine the situation that somebody praises you and something expands within you. Yeah, and you feel very good, like a balloon. You expand. The very same thing shrinks when somebody insults you. Yeah. So when we feel good, something expands within us, and when we feel bad, something shrinks. That something, let me call that as prana, some sort of energy, subtle energy. Okay. Now, when the prana goes high, we feel very good. When the prana goes low, when the energy goes low, we feel very bad. Now recall all those negative qualities that we just discussed for becoming a good teacher and researcher. All those negative qualities are nothing but the expressions of low prana, low energy. Do you see what I'm saying? Suppose somebody insults you. How do you feel? You feel dejected. You feel angry. You may feel tension. You may feel so many irritate. You may feel depression. You may feel irritation and so many negative qualities. Are you enthusiastic at that point of time? No. Right? So these are all the expressions of low prana. Right? But suppose if your prana is very high, if your energy is very high, and somebody misbehaves with you, you will find your own way. You may still find your own way to be really in good shape. Yeah. At that point of time, you are at a high prana. Yeah. So now I'm simplifying the things that the list of good qualities that a researcher and a teacher needs, all those are just the expressions of high prana, high energy. And list of all those negative qualities for becoming a good researcher and teacher, those are just the expressions of low prana, low energy. Now, if we can figure out how to increase the prana or how to increase the energy level, job is done. Isn't it or not? Because if we know how to increase or increase the energy or the prana, immediately you can feel confident, you can feel the clarity of mind, and you can feel the you can feel energetic, and all those positive qualities that we define for a good researcher and teacher. Yes or no? Do you see what I'm saying?
Agree.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Bit interesting. Because
Ah,
now
yes,
I'm going
sir.
to give you, because now I'm going to give you very many secrets of increasing the prana, increasing the energy level, because that will actually help you in becoming a good teacher, good researcher. That is in the contemporary world of academics and research. Yeah. So if you agree to this, I will tell you many solutions how to enhance the prana. Immediately you feel good. Immediately you can come out of all those negative expressions, and it will make you contribute into a good researcher, good teacher. So how can we increase the prana? Okay, very simple technique. Very simple technique. Can you clap? Even though I can't watch you, can you clap? If you do it genuinely, you'll get a genuine answer as well. Even though your audio is off, you can just clap for maybe a few seconds. Just clap, 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 clap. Yeah, and stop. See, how do you feel? You're feeling a little bit more energetic, a little bit more enthusiastic. Do you agree?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. So there are many techniques. I'm sharing few techniques that will immediately increase the prana, immediately increase the energy. Yeah, just by clapping, you can increase your energy. And tell me when do we clap? When we appreciate someone's quality. Yes or no? If you like amazingly well for something or someone, you naturally clap. Right? When you're watching a good movie or good cricket match or good performance, you clap, right? And you feel good. The prana goes high. This is one technique. Yeah. Second technique. You know what? Just we had mentioned that somebody praises you, somebody acknowledges your good qualities. You feel good. Your prana actually goes high. Your energy goes up. Automatically tension goes down. Automatically fear goes down. Automatically clarity comes. Yeah. So when somebody praises you, your energy actually goes up. But I tell you the reverse as well. What happens? See, this already we have experienced number of times. But now I'm telling you the other thing, that when you praise someone, what happens to you? When you acknowledge the qualities of other people, how do you feel? If you recall, whenever you recall a person, yeah, who really you inspire from, you know, at that point of time, your energy automatically goes up. Have you observed this? So whenever you praise someone, your energy goes up. Okay? Right? Then I tell you two more answers, two more solutions, how to increase prana, which will help us being a good teacher, good researcher. Right? First is clapping, second is appreciating others. Third, there are many things. I will just tell you a few, and then I would like you to populate this list on your own with your experience now onward. Okay? So the third thing which will help us increasing the prana level, energy level, is doing anything with full attention, full 100%. Suppose, yeah, suppose if you are playing, if you are 100% playing, automatically you become cheerful. Your prana goes high. Yeah, only when you are not 100%, when you are not giving your 100%, that time you are regretting. Then all those negative qualities come up. Yeah, so anything that we do it with, you know, 100% attention, automatically prana goes up. This is the third solution. Yeah, I'm not going to give you many solutions. Maybe you can share that when your prana goes up from your experience, when your energy goes up, under what circumstances your energy goes up. Does anyone wants to share? No? Okay. Now I'm going to give you the fourth solution, which is extremely powerful, which is extremely, you know, it gives you the result very immediately. Okay. You want to know that? The fourth solution of increasing prana. Yeah, that will bring all those positive qualities, clarity, confidence, and lack of fear and everything. You want to know that answer? Okay. Are you there? I'm not hearing anyone.
Yes, sir. I am
Okay.
hearing.
Okay, very good. So the fourth solution is, you know, meditation. Okay. Now, how many of you have already done some meditation, maybe 10-15 minutes earlier?
Sir, I used to do daily.
Okay, very good. Very good.
I have also done, sir.
Yeah, very nice.
I also, sir.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. So for all of us to be on the same page, for now, let us just define, or let us just be on the same page by defining meditation. Now, what is meditation?
It is an exercise to control thoughts.
Exercise to control thought. Yeah. What else?
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind. Yeah. What else?
Control on our breath.
Control on our breath. Yeah. Yeah. So it could be
It
many
is said
things.
that we don't want to do meditation. It happens.
It
Or
happens. We
we,
don't want to. Yeah. Even wanting something also becomes the obstacle in doing meditation. That is what you're saying, right? Correct. Yeah. So many times, yeah. So very nice answers. So many times, we may have wrong concepts of meditation. Right? Meditation, we may sometimes feel that it is concentration. It is, focusing on something. Right? That is not meditation. Right? Meditation is not focusing. Meditation is not concentration. These are the outcomes, the results of the meditation process. Okay. So today we are going to do a short meditation. I'll guide you through that meditation. What you have to do, you just have to follow my instructions. Yeah. So I'll be giving instructions from here. You just have to follow in a very light manner, very gentle manner. See, so whenever we attend a lecture, no, a workshop lecture or a lecture otherwise or a presentation, we are very, very keen. We are very um, attentive, right? In meditation, we don't become very attentive. We just do it very gently, very lightly. Yeah, so that is the difference that we'll follow the instruction with, right? Second thing, whenever we start meditation, whenever we'll start meditation, we'll keep our eyes closed. Okay. And third, we'll keep relaxed. We'll sit very relaxed. Yeah. We'll not sit very strict and very hard. We'll just sit relaxed. Okay. So these are the three things we'll follow. And if you follow my instructions, well, good. And if you can't follow my instructions well, that is also fine, completely all right. Yeah, don't fight with your own outcome. Is it clear, everyone? Yeah. So suppose if I tell that remember elephant, and then when you close your eyes, what you see is a horse. Don't worry about that, right? Don't fight with the horse. Just be with the horse, and we'll continue. Okay. So don't fight with whatever comes as an experience in your meditation. Is it clear? So
Yes, sir.
yeah. So now let's do a short meditation. Okay. And from here, I'll give instructions. So now let's close our eyes. And for few minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, we'll not open our eyes, come what may. For the best experience, we'll keep our eyes closed. Okay. So let's close our eyes. Keep your eyes closed. And take a normal breathe in. And slowly breathe out. Take your attention to the sounds around us. The sounds of different machines, vehicles, or people talking. Accept all these sounds and be in harmony with those sounds. These sounds now don't bother us. Without any effort, take your attention to your right foot. Deep breathe in and slowly breathe out. Become aware of your right knee, thigh, and hip. Deep, normal breathe in and slowly breathe out. The whole of the right leg. Breathe in and breathe out very slowly. Left foot, knee, thigh, hip, and the whole of the left leg. Breathe in and slowly breathe out. Stomach and the region around that. Chest. Deep breathe in and slowly breathe out. Right arm and right shoulder. Left arm and left shoulder. Throat and neck. Face. Head. And the whole body. The pura sharir. Deep normal breathe in and slowly breathe out. This body is a precious gift by the nature. Let us respect and honor it. Become aware of the thoughts. Good thoughts or bad thoughts. Do not resist them. They'll come and go. Become aware of your feelings, pleasant feelings or unpleasant feelings. Do not resist. You are peace and you are joy. Again, become aware of your feelings. Take your attention to your feelings. Thoughts. And your body. Become aware of the noises around us. Becoming aware of our surroundings. Once again, a deep breath in and a cheerful, slow breathe in, breathe out. Taking your own time, slowly and gradually, you may open your eyes. You can slowly and gradually open your eyes. Yeah. Could you do that? How are you feeling?
Relax.
Relax, no? What about others?
Yes, sir. Relaxed. Feeling relaxed.
See, at this moment, are you feeling irritated, angry? No, right? Feeling low in energy, frustrated, tension? Yeah. So all those negative qualities, the list of all the negative qualities that were on the side of obstacles, right? They are not there, right? Now, recall the list of good qualities, no? Confidence, clarity. Have you observed that there is more clarity as compared to uh, 1 hour before? Now there is a little bit more clarity as compared to 1 hour before. Do you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So all these qualities that are required for good teacher and researchers, no, we naturally get them. It's not very difficult. Yeah? So this is why I kept the name of the topic as the relevance of meditation in the contemporary teaching and research. There is in academia. Yeah. Now, do you have any question? Do you have any comment? Feel free to ask any question. Any question so far?
So good afternoon, sir.
Hello, good afternoon.
So I have one question, sir. I am from Deen Dayal Patel University, Gandhinagar, sir.
Which
PDPU
university?
Gandhinagar. PDPU Gandhinagar, sir.
PDPU Gandhinagar. Okay.
Yes, sir. Actually, so whenever I involve in research and academics, sometimes I usually get more and more negative thoughts and frustrations, sir. How to overcome? It is not only my problem. Many of the faculties are facing the same issue, sir.
Yeah, I tell you, one of the fundamental difference, one of the fundamental problem that we, we actually face in the modern research. You know what is it? See, in our research, always we dissect. Yeah. So suppose if you want to understand something, suppose if you want to understand molecule, so you dissect the big material, then small material, and then you come to molecule, and then you dissect, then you further go into it, and then you get more atom and proton, electron, and so on. Yeah. So always in modern research and analysis, we dissect, we separate one thing from other things. Yeah, there is a mode of doing research and analysis in the modern science, which is also one of the nice ways. But whenever we do that, we lose the integral approach. We actually distort the original structure or original thing in essence. That is why the other approach is integral approach. Okay. Now I tell you, now this is very fundamental philosophy of the modern research. But if you see, we actually start our research from criticizing the existing stuff. On a very lighter note, I'm saying that we rely too much on criticizing the existing literature, and then we develop something new, no? Yeah. And one more fundamental reason why a lot of obstacles we feel in the research is that we always rely too much onto comparison. that is comparing with the peers, comparing with primarily peers actually. So the moment, see, again, that is one of the qualities, negative qualities that we face, no? But after meditation, did you observe that those qualities are a little bit less now, a little bit compressed, not compressed, but rather a little bit disappeared?
Yes, sir. After meditation, I'm feeling more relaxed, with more peaceful in my mind, sir.
Yeah. So that is why I'm saying that, you know, we should not find the ways to decrease, to negate those qualities. Just increase your energy, increase your prana, and automatically those qualities go off. That is why it should become the daily practice, not only once or twice. What do you say?
Sure, sir. I'll follow this, sir, on regular basis, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I've been
Thank you.
doing. Yeah. So we had see, this is only 1-2 hour of program, no? But there are many techniques which actually practically work in time management, stress management, and uh, enhancing prana in with various uh, techniques, and the effectiveness of which lasts for long. So we have conducted this program in various colleges in India and abroad, right? So you can also plan in your college. I mean, when I'm saying you, all of you actually, because in India also we have done this program many places. So how you conduct this program, no, like STTP, technical workshop, and you keep 2 hours of this meditation session, stress management session. Likewise, you can actually conduct, you can organize one Art of Living full program. It is a 10 hours of program, and that program can be conducted either in any time for more than 10 hours, 10 to 20 hours. Okay, so you can plan to organize such workshop, because it helps immensely in both teaching. See, do you notice the difference, or difference what you feel now compared to 1 hour before, in the state of your mind, in the state of your perseverance, in just 1 hour of time? Do you feel that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now I'm feeling more lighter.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Now, with this lightness, if you go to lecture, definitely it will be more enjoyable. Yes or no?
Definitely, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? So there are very nice techniques. Now, a lot of research has been done with the technique that is taught in this Art of Living workshop. No, that is Sudarshan Kriya. A lot of research has gone into it. So you can organize such workshop in your college.
Thank you, sir.
We can figure
Definitely.
out. Anyone can be in touch with me. You can be in touch with me, and we can figure it out how to organize such a workshop
Sure, sir. Definitely,
for
sir.
faculty.
Thank you.
What else? Anything else from others? No. Okay. So let me proceed further, and let me tell you some of the more qualities which really help us in uh, in good teaching and research. Okay. I there is no question, no, now. Okay, nice. So three things which really help us, and those three things actually we get immediately after doing meditation or continuous or regular meditation practice. You know what is that? I had covered this in one of the earlier topics, earlier talks. Let me tell you that now. You know, clarity in mind, sincerity in action, and purity in heart. I just repeat and then I'll elaborate all of the three. Clarity in mind, sincerity in action, and purity in heart. Yeah, it looks very philosophical, but let me bring the practical aspect into it. Okay. See, I'll give my own example. When I used to travel just 1 kilometer at outside the IIT Bombay campus, I was studying there during my PhD. So just to cover 1 kilometer of distance, I used to take 1 hour of time in bus or any vehicle because it was too much of traffic there. Too much of traffic. Yeah. In the evening time, 6 o'clock. Yeah. So because of traffic, it takes a lot of time to cover 1 kilometer of distance. But the same 1 kilometer of distance, if I were to travel in the morning, let's say 6 o'clock, you know how much time it takes? 2 minutes. So directly coming from 1 hour to 2 minutes. Yeah. So if there is too much of traffic, it takes more time. If it is too less traffic, it takes very less time to cover the same distance. Same analogy. With the same analogy, when in our mind there are too many thoughts, there is too much of traffic jam, too much of traffic jam. Right? I want to do this, I want to do that way, or I want to write a project or this and that. And if you typically see, there are so many thoughts, ideas, and alternatives that we come in our head. And that is also one of the reasons why we are not getting the clarity in mind. Yeah. So if we can remove the traffic jam, if we can bring that clarity, immediately what we can do in 1 hour, we can do it in quite less time. And we become more efficient. Right? So that is one quality that is worth acquiring. Yeah. Second, see, purity in heart. See what I mean. See, it's very philosophical, no? Purity in heart. But let's see the practical relevance of that. Yeah. You are good colleagues. Yeah, 2-3 group of very good colleagues. You spend very nice time in the office, otherwise as well. But only once, because of something, some reason, somebody in the group itself insults you. How do you feel? Very bad, right? So when the heart was at the right place in the beginning, just because of some incidents, it goes on the other side, right? And immediately you feel very bad. This is what I call emotional garbage. Yeah, we deal our garbage very effectively when it comes to physical garbage. In the home, when we have garbage, we know how to throw it away. But when it comes to emotions, right, we feel we are not very efficient. We just hold on to some negative comments too heavily. Yeah, and that actually misplaces our heart, our emotions. So if we can throw away our emotional garbage on a daily basis, regularly, we don't get perturbed by small insults and so on. Okay. This is one of the experience I would like to share, that once before long time, somebody had insulted me in a big way, scolding and giving very bad words, family names, and so on. You know, at that point of time, I was even meditating at that point of time as well. So I was into that zone. And you know what I was thinking? He's feeling so much of pain to give me those words. I'm not perturbed, but look at him. I mean, how he's getting perturbed. And that I was not feeling good about. That, you know, he was feeling very heavy and very rigid. It was not bothering me, even though he was like giving galis and so on to me. Right? So why? Because I knew at that point of time how to take away my emotional garbage. I know how to, you know, dump my emotional garbage. I don't get perturbed so easily with those emotional garbages. Yeah. So when that happens, you are very calm, cool, and relaxed, and you know, composed. It doesn't bother you at all. There is second quality. The third is sincerity in action. Yeah, this typically it goes off when there is stress. Yeah, so when there is stress, actually the sincerity in action goes a little bit down. Yeah, what does it mean? See, stress is Shri Shri defines too much of work, too little time, and no energy is called stress. Yeah, something that you want to do, it takes a lot of time. That is because of stress. There are many sides and facets of stress. It can come from many things. Many times we also don't realize that this is called stress, but because of that, we go off balance. That is basically stress. For whatever we go off balance, that is the cause of the stress. Okay, the moment that stress goes away, what you can do in 1 hour, you can do it in 5 minutes, half an hour, 20 minutes. Yeah, so if we improve these three things, no, clarity in mind, sincerity in action, and purity in heart, actually you can take away, you can, you are nice. I mean, all those positive qualities immediately pop up. Okay, and those can be obtained by meditation. And I tell you, there are many techniques that we cover in this Art of Living workshop, 10 hours to 20 hours that we can fix, because it can be compressed into 10 hours and it can be elaborated into 20 hours, which directly and practically help us overcoming all those negative steps. Yeah. So you have any question? Actually, I am done. Actually, I didn't prepare for 2 hours. Naresh, I'm sorry. So
No problem, sir.
Yeah. So at this moment, I would like to discuss very informally. If you have anything to discuss, anything, question, any doubt, or anything that you would like to discuss, I would like to respond to that. So maybe a question answer session can be a good time right now.
Sir, how to control the emotions or balance the emotion, you can say.
Yeah. The good thing is that we don't have to control the emotions. No, we should not control the emotions. We simply have to relax. We should know how to relax. Yeah, that automatically will take care of all those negative emotions. Yeah. See, that is why I said that when we begin this session, no, before 1 hour, whatever may be the emotions, whatever may be the feeling, you may agree to me that there were some negative emotions and feelings at that point of time, but which are not there now after doing the meditation. Do you all agree? At least to a certain extent, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So don't attempt to get rid of negative emotions. Rather, just relax. Just do some meditation, and that's it. Automatically, those emotions will vanish. It is something like when you are in front of the light, when you are in front of the sun, your shadow doesn't come in front of you, right? Only when you turn back, when the sun is on your back, then only you can see the shadow of yours. Likewise, actually those negative emotions don't exist, don't actually exist, those feelings don't exist. They are just mere expressions of negative or other low prana. The moment you increase your prana, the moment you increase the energy, all those negative emotions, feelings just vanish. And that is what we did. We just did some uh, breathing technique. We just breathe in a particular way with our eyes closed and did some meditation process with guidance, and then all these emotions, feelings just vanished. Practical, no? You experienced that, no?
I want to ask one question.
Go ahead.
Sometimes we do our 100% at workplace and at home, but we don't get the recognition that we want. So there is a lot of emotional stress because of that. So how to deal with that?
Correct. Yeah. So actually, that is one of the reasons why our energy goes down. Why should we work for recognition? We don't need to do recognition. No, recognition is automatically an outcome of your good work. In case if you don't get good recognition, so be it. Many times we have got so many good recognition, even though we haven't worked too well.
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So at that time we don't say that why did I get recognition even though I didn't deserve it. Right. So if I'm getting this, sometimes we are also supposed to get the other thing as well. No.
Correct. You're correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir.
Mhm.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible,
Am I
Shweta, right? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Shweta, go ahead.
I want to ask, you were talking about one incident. Somebody was trying to make you irritate and you were meditating at that time. But
No.
what will you do if that incident is continued to every day? Then what
Yeah.
would be your reaction at that time?
Yeah. Let me first clarify. It was not when I was meditating and then somebody was insulting me. No. I'm saying that I used to daily meditate. And once
No. At
once
that time, you were trying to control your emotions by meditation.
no,
You were saying like that.
not at all. Let me
Okay.
tell you that incident once again. So I daily do meditation and breathing exercises in the morning, and impact, of course, lasts for a long time. In the evening time, when we were going out, and then we were chatting, and he started misbehaving with me. Yeah. So at that point of while we were talking, I was not meditating, of course. Yeah. But now, uh, uh, yeah. But now, what I'm saying is that since my experience of meditation and my daily practices were so profound, I knew for sure that this can't perturb me. Okay. Even though if I get perturbed, the next day when I do meditation, everything goes off anyway. That is what we experience, no? Before meditation and after meditation, in today's session, we experience the difference, no? Yeah.
Okay.
So if
Okay,
some
sir.
does it make sense? So if somebody, let's say, irritates you, somebody misbehaves with you, you know that getting irritated, getting angry doesn't answer the situation very well. So first of all, you should be able to know how to get that emotion and feeling done, how to get rid of that, right, on your own. And then once you get rid of those emotions very nicely, by doing meditation with consciousness, consciously doing meditation or breathing exercise, then you will find 10 other ways how to deal that situation. I'm not saying all the time listen to those bad words and so on. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that first of all, you can get rid of those emotions very nicely on your own with very simple thing, right? And then you find your own ways to tackle that situation next time whenever it happens. Yeah, because once you are clear, once you're free, then you will get actually many ideas how to deal with that situation, right? This is just one of the ways how we can deal with the situation. But when we are angry, when we are irritated, certainly you can agree with me that we are not in the best position to tackle the situation very well.
Okay, sir. Okay, fine.
Does that make sense?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
See, all I have been trying in this session is that um, these are not like ready-made book solutions. No, what I'm saying is that learn from your own experiences and add meditation and breathing techniques into it. Automatically, you will start getting solutions on your own from your experiences, and you are at very much ease in different situations. Yeah. Is there any other? What else?
Sir, means
Sir, I
you
have one
mean
more
that
question, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, Rahul.
Yeah, please carry on, sir.
yes.
Yeah,
So
that is super.
it means that to every problem there is one kind of solution only. We can go through meditation, right?
I would rather say that for every problem there may be one or many solutions, but we can identify the solution very easily, or rather more easily, when we do meditation.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the moment you are relaxed, automatically sometimes solution pop up. No, that is what is the example of Newton and Kekule as well. No, if you remember Kekule, he couldn't find the molecular structure of the benzene, and then after putting a lot of effort, frustration, and so on, he just slept. In the dream, he realizes the molecular structure. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
When he left everything, relaxed for some time, he got the solution. Likewise, Newton, he worked so hard to get the that law, Newton's law, gravitational law. He couldn't get the answer, but he then finally gave up, or rather, he just sat relaxed under the tree, and then he realizes the falling of the fruit downward, and he questions the event, and then the law pops up. No, yeah. So once you relax, once you let go, once you do meditation, once you do some breathing technique, automatically whatever solutions exist, they start making sense to you. Does it make sense?
Yes, I got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Dadi Surap.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yes, sir.
Surapara.
I have one more question, sir.
Hmm.
So for the last 4 to 5 years, I became more time punctual, sir. For example, if I give an appointment to a student or a faculty, I expect that they should come on time. For example, I tell you that you have to meet me at 3 o'clock, I should wait for you for 2:55 onwards. Because of this time punctuality, daily I'm feeling bad, sir. Actually, the others are not time punctual. If I be on time punctual, then what I'm thinking that now, unless I'm wasting my time. You suppose if I'm not be time punctual, I think that they feel bad because I'm not time punctual. So because of this dilemma, every day I feel bad, sir. How to get rid of this time punctuality situation? Please help me, sir.
Yeah, sure. I'll tell you my perspective. Yeah, first of all, time punctuality is very good. Okay, so see, that is why there is a nice saying that I follow. Yeah, what is it? It is educate and ignore. See, many times what happens that, for example, you follow time punctuality very nicely, right? Now you also expect others to follow the time punctuality, that nice gesture, which is good. Now, if you can't let go, then you get frustrated. What I mean to say is that, of course, you should follow time punctuality as much as you can. You should also educate others to follow the time punctuality. But after education, also after informing, also, if they don't follow, then if they are colleagues, then you have to ignore. If they are students, then you have to take some action. But from mind, definitely you should be able to ignore. When I say ignore, yeah, when I say ignore, that means just relax. Then take whatever action you want to take. What we do is that after taking the right action, we want to relax. I'm saying that no, first you relax and then take some action. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree with you, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So even though if you want to punish your students, being relaxed, you can punish. You see? So in that sense, so in that way, you have actually educated, and this, at the same time, you are not perturbed out of their outcomes, whatever is the outcome, right? So you have done both. If you do only one thing, if you keep on educating and don't ignore, then you will be frustrated. If you cannot educate and just ignore, then you are ignorant and you are irresponsible. But you should be able to educate, and you should also be able to ignore. Then only you can be happy, you can be relaxed, and then you can take a meaningful action.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. What else? Yeah, Amit. Okay. Is there anything? What else?
Yes, sir. Sir, I want to ask another question from my side. That,
Go ahead.
sir, how can overcome the problem of procrastination?
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? One of the ways is to take some commitment. Okay, commitment of not lifelong, commitment of a shorter duration. Yeah. So maybe if you are procrastinating for learning additional things for your course or any other thing, you will say that typically what we that I want to get rid of procrastination. Indirectly, what we are saying that for lifelong, I want to procrastinate. I'm saying that take a commitment that you will not procrastinate for 1 week. Okay, just for 1 week.
Yes.
Your energy will move in that 1 week. Then your experience will, then you expand the horizon. There is one solution. Yeah. Second, doing some exercises. Doing some exercise and pranayam definitely helps you overcoming the procrastination. See, procrastination. See, when do you feel procrastination? When do you do actually procrastination? When you are low in energy. Like, for example, in the morning. For example, in the morning, you have just freshened up. You have taken the tea, and then you want to do something. Typically, your energy is very high. Yeah, you can do anything. But it is by the time evening 5 o'clock 6 o'clock, then somebody tells you that please do this much, do this, or you want to do some voluntary thing, you will say that not now, tomorrow. Yeah. What is the difference in the morning, in the evening? In the morning your energy is high, in the evening your energy is low. Yeah. So procrastination is the one manifestation of the low energy. So if you increase your energy, automatically procrastination decreases. That is another solution. Yeah, and exercise really helps. Yeah, and the second thing, already I said that take commitment for shorter duration. Let's say 1 week. I'll not do procrastination. Yeah, and increase the time horizon.
Thank you, sir.
Mhm. What else? From here in this group, has anybody done Art of Living program, that happiness program or meditation and breath workshop? Has anybody done? Has anybody attended that program earlier? Off campus, any time?
No, sir, I have not attended any kind of program.
What about others? Nobody has done it?
Myself, sir.
No, sir, right.
Yeah, Naresh, you want to share your experience? How did you feel after the program, after attending the program?
Very excellent, sir. Actually, I have done many times happiness programs. So every time I experience new and new, and every time very peaceful mind and clarity in thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice experience.
Okay. Do you think it's a good idea to arrange it in the campus for the faculty, like this workshop, like technical workshop? Do you think it's a good idea?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Anybody else has done the program, attended the program earlier? Okay, no problem. Yeah, so you can think on your own way how you can organize such a workshop in your campus. Yeah. The course fees is very less, maybe approximately 1 to 2,000 rupees for the entire program per participant. Yeah, you can be in touch with me if you want to organize. Yeah, I can conduct that program if you wish in your
Sure,
college.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Is there anything else? Any question? Anything? Otherwise, I'm
Sir,
done.
I want to ask
Yeah,
about
go ahead, Rob. Yes. Go.
how effective the time management can be. It's according to you.
Oh, I tell you. See, I can tell you from my own experience. For past 5 semesters, I have been getting outstanding teaching recognition by the Dean of Academics. Every year, 2 international journal publications I have been getting for past few years. Apart from that, when I go home, actually I cook on my own many times. So I have started. I have learned how to make pizza right from the scratch, right from the floor, just on a light side. And I do cook. I used to design and cut and stitch my own clothes. I'm the captain of my table tennis team. I play volleyball. I find good amount of time, maybe 1 hour of time for doing some exercise. I find good amount of time for about 1 hour for doing pranayam, yoga, and meditation every day. And I do learn. I attend a lot of workshops, and I also conduct workshops. And I have traveled approximately 9 to 10 countries, and I have represented both IIT Gandhinagar and Art of Living everywhere. And I find enough time to play with my kids. And yeah, and generally I'm free. So even though after doing all of these things, generally I'm free. Yeah. So you can get some sense that it is possible to do good time management because there are very practical tools and techniques in this workshop that we cover. Very, very practical and simple. Just if you follow that, job done. So it's possible.
Okay,
what I mean. Yeah. So if you want to conduct, maybe you can talk to Sheetal Amin. Maybe Naresh will know. So she had conducted the program in her college once. So you'll get more idea from her. And maybe Naresh also can give you more idea how to conduct such a program. Just you have to spend like 3 hours every day, 3 days, and that's it. The entire program can be covered.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Another question? So then that's it from my side. Thank you, Naresh. The organizing.
Okay. Rohit sir.
Yes.
Conclude
Thank
the
you, sir.
session.
Thank you, sir, for such a nice session on meditation. Sir has very well explained about the practical aspect of clarity in mind, purity in heart, and sincerity in action. On behalf of Chemical Engineering Department, GEC Bharuch, once again, I thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and enlighten us and for to conduct a short meditation in this session. Thank you so much, sir.
Sure. Thank you very much. So I'm logging out now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Hello, participants. Now we have a test at 3:45.